What's up, everybody? Coach Ceelo here, and welcome to episode 24 of the No Bullshit Six-Figure Sales Podcast. We are in a very special sub-series, mini-series that I am calling the Woowoo of Sales. And so we started with the power of belief. Then we talked about being in the zone. We talked about the dark side of the force. And now we're going to talk about one of my favorite ones, and it's called identity. So identity is extremely important. And no, I don't mean, what you identify as. Don't get me started. All right. What I mean is really who are you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you want to be? And who do you think you have come from? Who were you? Who are you? And who do you want to be? That's what identity is. Identity is everything. If you master this, you don't need anything else. This is the one thing. If I had to, and I said this before, guys, but the people that I coach, I probably couldn't coach for a living right now if I wanted to, because my close ratio on the coaching is too high. Meaning the people that I coach, I would have liked to coach them on a monthly basis for like a year. And I was really thinking I wanted to have a subscription model where I'd coach people and charge them, monthly, and maybe give like a discount for paying it up front or whatever for a year. But up until now, I can't do that because I do 2 or 3 calls and they're done. I'm sure eventually they'll call me back for something, or maybe like a pep talk or something, but we got right to the grain of it. They got right to work and it's done. So if somebody came to me, so listen to what I'm about to say, because this could save you a lot of time, effort, and money, right? If there's one thing that you could do, one thing you could change in your life, or one way of looking at things that would change everything, it's identity. Who do you see yourself as, and who would you like to be? See, a lot of people think it's do, have, be. Everybody, that's the model they used to teach back in the 80s, and I think maybe even the early 90s. Do, have, be. Do the things so you have the things, and then you become, right? So do the work gives you the toys, and now the toys define who you have become. Doesn't work that way, guys. It's be, do, have. Figure out who you want to be and become that person now, be. Now that you've become that person, picture what that person would be doing and what they did to get to where they're at, do, and then by default, by becoming the person and doing what that person would do, now you get to enjoy all the goodies and the toys, have. So the goodies, the toys, the money, it's just a byproduct of becoming the person. And by default, what is becoming the person? Is that not identity? Hello? By default, you're going to know what that person had to do to get there. So you got to put in the work. Sorry, guys. You got to put in the work. It doesn't come for free. You can aum yourself to death, but if you don't get up off your ass that morning and get on that computer or put on your best suit, get your A game going, work on your mindset, work on your skill, work on your craft, then guess what? It's not going to happen by itself. Now, we'll be talking about manifestations and visualizations and affirmations later. And when you do all of that, you're certainly giving it some help because you're putting yourself in the right place. But if you don't put in the work, it's not going to happen by itself. Now, don't confuse that with thinking that it's hard, or that, that hustle culture that you can't sleep or it's not gonna. No, let's be honest. There are times in your life where you're going to have to bust your ass, either because things weren't going the way you planned and you needed to make them better, or because you created so much momentum that you've got to take advantage of that opportunity. Absolutely. But there are times in your life where, when you're in that flow state, where things are just going to come to you naturally, and it's almost as if you weren't working, almost as if everything was falling on your lap. But don't forget all the work that you put in before that happened. It's like when somebody makes it big and all of a sudden they go, "Oh my God, that person did it, from one day to another, they got rich," or from one day to another, they got. No, they were becoming who they were for many years before that. They put a lot of work in. So don't fall into that trap of thinking that there's not going to be work involved. But now, if you put in the psychological work, you put in the spiritual work, you put in the energetical work, everything lines up, boom, you're in the zone. Absolutely, it could come a lot easier. So back to where I was at. Identity. Be, do, have. Become the person. How do you do that? Well, you think of everything that you'd like to have and how you'd like to see yourself. And you should do short term, mid-term, and long term. So short term, the next 6 to 9 months. Give yourself some time, guys. All right? Most people grossly undercalculate or underestimate the time that they can do things, or underestimate what they can do in a long period of time, but overestimate what they can do in a short period of time, right? So give yourself a little bit of time. Where do I want to see myself realistically in the next 6 to 9 months? Better than now, of course, right? And push it a little further. Then where do I want to see myself 5 years from now? And where do I want to see myself 10 years from now? And what you do is you reverse engineer it. So start off with the big goals, and then say, all right, 10 years from now, I'd like to see this. Then 5 years from now, and then somewhere between 6 to 9 months from now. A lot of people like using 3 months. I don't like using 3 months. I like using 6 months, because that gives you 3 months to get your shit together, and then 3 months to blow it out of the water with momentum. Could it happen sooner? Yeah, absolutely it could. Everything happens in 90-day shifts anyway. But that's what I'm saying. Give yourself twice as much, and you'll be able to do it. So identity. Let's go back to that. Actually, let's start dividing that. Let's think about spiritually, energetically, and then psychologically, right? So spiritually, well, that identity has to do with your spiritual life. That has to do with your religious and spiritual beliefs. So, what do you believe in? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in saints? Do you believe in nothing? I hope not. I hope you believe in something, because belief, remember, power of belief. Belief is you have to believe in something, whatever it is. Do you believe in the universe? Do you believe in one field? Whatever it is, believe in it. Whatever it is, believe in it. Strengthen your belief. Understand that higher power, your higher self, God, however you want to look at it, has got your back. That everything always works out in your favor. Short-term things may happen that you don't understand, but I bet you that if you look back, some of the worst moments of your life set you up for other things that wouldn't have never happened if that did not happen. Listen, my social media manager, who's sitting right on the other side of this, can attest to that. He had something really shitty that happened to him a year ago, or 2 years ago. And now he's living his best life and he's just getting started. But the reason why is because that set him up that changed the course in a way that if something like that did not change the course, you would have not changed the course. Maybe because you were comfortable, maybe because you weren't open, maybe because you weren't looking. So just have the belief that whatever you believe in, and believe strongly that whatever you believe in has your back, has your best interest in mind, and that'll work. Energetically, how does this happen with your identity? Well, I kind of mentioned it when I was talking about the universe and this and that you're tapped in, that you're tuned in, that you know that you know that you know that when you get in your flow, everything works out. And then it's just figuring out ways, which I've covered before, of how getting in that flow, how to be able to synchronize, how to be able to get going, how to be able to make things happen. Now, psychologically, identity, that's simple. Who do you see yourself as? How do you define yourself? Are you always making excuses for things based on how you were raised, based on where you were raised, based on the things that your parents taught you, be it good or bad? Guys, the past is the past. Be grateful for the great moments. Be grateful you got out of the bad moments, but you're a survivor. You're here. And if you're listening to my podcast, not only that, but you are either in the top percentile of salespeople in this country and in this world, or you're working on becoming that. So don't give me that victim mentality, that's feeling sorry for yourself shit. That's for other people, not for us. That's an identity. I've chosen that identity. The identity is, I am blank. Whatever you put behind these next words are going to define who you're going to become. Now, it only works if you believe it. And sometimes if you pick things that are way out there where you don't believe, then you may have to pick something in between. So this is something I learned from Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor used to have this chart that he would put, right? And it had levels. For my traders out there, it's almost like you're marking key levels, right? He had levels there. And each level was a certain energetic feeling, which is an emotion if you just want to go psychological, right? So everything from despair and depression and negativity and melancholy and feeling okay and feeling hopeful and feeling happy and feeling grateful and feeling elated and you see what I'm saying? So it's a gradient of all of the emotions that you could feel. So if you're all the way at depression or despondent or hatred, and you're all the way down here, and you want to talk about feeling elated and successful, that's a big jump. And it may not even seem real in your eyes. So you can't do that. Your brain's automatically going to shut you down. You can say it all you want, but your brain's going to say he's full of shit. But if you're at depression and you can get yourself to melancholy, that's not that bad. And once you're at melancholy, you can get yourself to hopeful. That's huge because you went from depressed to hopeful. And when you're at hopeful, you get yourself now to happy. And when you're at happy, you get yourself to elated. You see what I mean? You can stack these, but eventually you've got to, it's almost like it's part of your DNA. You have to see yourself as the person that I see myself as I am the type of person that things go my way. Lucky, and you've heard me say this before, lucky, crazy shit happens to me all the time. And for those of you that know me personally, know that that's true. All kinds of weird synchronicities and happy, funny synchronicities happen to me all the time. But you know why they happen to me all the time? Because it's an expectation. And I am the type of person who is a top producer. You know why it happens? Because I expect it. And in times when it hasn't happened, I felt like it was a fluke. I didn't feel like the universe was out to get me. I didn't feel like all this negativity was out to get me. I didn't feel like I had all these evil eyes out to get me, even though part of that may be true. Who knows? But what I did know is I'm the type of person who's a top producer. So if I'm in a fluke, isn't that interesting? I must be getting set up for something really big. I am probably about to close or land one of the biggest deals of my life. And then you know what would happen? I would land one of the biggest deals of my life. Because I am the type of person who, remember that phrase, I am the type of person who, and put behind that all those things that you want to happen. Again, if you're way out at the end, then start somewhere in the middle. I am the type of person, if you're way down in depression, way down in despondency, way down in negativity or hatred or whatever, I am the type of person that nothing bothers. Don't worry about being elated and excited and full of energy and closing deals. Let's just get you to the point where things don't affect you. Would that make a difference in your life? And once you get there and you believe it, and how you do that, then that's when the affirmations work and the visualizations work and all of that works, because you're now bringing that energy in. So let's talk energy. We attract what we are. So what you are is what you attract, not what you want, what you are. But there's ways of hacking it, because energy flows to where attention goes. So what you most pay attention to is what's going to surround you. And if you pay attention to positivity, more positivity is going to come your way. You're going to attract some of that. And now you attracted that. Now you're at that level. Guess what? Now automatically that is who you are. And so now you can work on the next level and the next level, and you start working your way up. So who you see yourself to be is who you become. So you always have to see yourself as that better self, as that end result that you want. And for people who aren't really that bad, you're not in despondency, you're not in depression, you're just trying to get better, dude. Like, your life's not bad, but it could get better. Well, then that's where you tell yourself, I'm the type of person that makes things happen. I'm the type of person that does things. And tell your customers that. Literally, like, hey, listen, I'm the top salesman here, and I don't mean that to impress you, but I'm saying there's a reason why. And that has to do with the customer service I give, or the insights that I have in your business, or the insights that I have in being able to help you find your problems and fix them, or whatever. People want the sharpest person in the office to take care of their problems. If I walk into a car dealership and I'm buying a car, I want the person who knows every nook and cranny that car has. If you walk into, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you want to talk to somebody, let's go back to Jordan Belfort, who's sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and a force to be reckoned with. So how do you have to see yourself as? Sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and a force to be reckoned with. Fuck what everybody else thinks. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, screw what everybody else thinks. The minute you decide that you become that other identity, you are that other identity. And the people that aren't going to like it are the people that it affects. It affects them because they have to see themselves relative to where you're at. But their opinions of you don't define you. You attract what you are. Even your opinion of you, in a way, doesn't define you if you've got your energy set right, if you've got your set point right. So your opinion of you matters, of course. But what I'm saying is who you become, that base will become now the new thermostat level, right? So I am the type of person who, right? If I am the type of person that luck goes my way, that great things happen, and I find myself in a streak that I didn't want to be in, a negative streak, my brain may be saying, damn, we're in a negative streak or whatever, but my thermostat is set at, I am the type of person that these things don't happen to, which is why when they do, I'm like, oh, it's a fluke. I'm about to nail. How many times have you been out there doing something, you had a bad month, and then at the last couple of days, you blew it out of the water? There's a lot of reasons why that happens. But bottom line is, that thermostat is still there. And if you set yourself up, if you've got your identity right, guys, like I said in the beginning, you get this one thing right, and everything else will fall in place. So I'm going to give you guys an exercise. This is something that I only do with the people I coach, so I am giving you a lot of value here. If you are listening to this, I expect you to subscribe because I'm giving you money here, all right? I want you to see yourself already at that end game of how you want to be. I want you to see yourself looking in the mirror so that you can actually see yourself. How are you dressed? Listen to yourself talking. What are you saying? What's going on around you? Feel the sun hitting you, toasting your skin, whatever. I need you to include all of your senses, and I want you to feel deep inside, how does it feel to have reached all of those goals? Whose lives did you impact? What did you do? So now I want you seeing yourself, looking at the mirror and looking back. So you're standing behind yourself. So you, the present you, is seeing that future you looking at himself in the mirror. And what kind of things do you tell yourself in the morning? I'm the type of person that does this. And as that is happening, what I want you to do is to take a step closer and take a step closer and take a step closer until you have literally embodied that person, and bring that back to you right now. There's a spiritual side to this. There's an energetic side to this. And there's absolutely a psychological side to what I just did. I promise you, if you do that every single day, there'll be a time when you won't need to do it anymore, just occasionally, like tune-up, right? In a very, very short period of time, I'm talking about 24 to 72 hours, you are going to start seeing some huge differences in your life and in your sales career. Guys, my name is Coach Ceelo. I have helped thousands of salespeople and entrepreneurs and business owners reach six figures, attain six figures, break six figures, and maintain six figures. You keep talking to me and watching these videos, you'll be the next.